I'm Matt Bichard here at the La Quinta Resort and Club in Palm Springs, California for REITwise 2017, NAREIT's Law, Accounting, and Finance Conference. Joining me today is Oliver Schmidt, the Chief Audit Executive with QTS Realty Trust. Oliver, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Matt.
Now, you participated on a panel here at REITwise on risk management issues. Can you start by talking about the role the Chief Audit Executive plays in regards to this topic?
Yeah, it really comes down to three different things. So, the first role that we play is an advisory role. So looking at how does an organization put together an enterprise risk management program, how does that integrate and feed into how it runs the business and what language it wants to use, what thresholds, those types of things. So it's really an advisory role to help the company up and get going. The second role we really play is communicative. So once we've established that with the executive team and with the board of directors, we then go out and communicate with the business on risk management, on the different, things like what are threats, what are vulnerabilities, what are risks, what are controls, and really get them up to speed on that framework that we've put together. And then it closes out in kind of the assessor role, because as internal audit, we go out and we assess various audits that we do in various parts of the business, and it's linking back our assessments overall to that enterprise risk management program that was put together. It's really the third piece of what we do.
And how important is engaging with a company's board when it comes to risk management?
It's critical, really, because the first part of it is alignment. You've got to align with your board of directors around what you think the key enterprise risks are, and then also get their counsel and their guidance with respect to how to address those. So part of having a good, diverse board is you get a variety of industry experiences and business experiences that they've had. So really being able to tap in onto how to handle those risks, whether we should transfer them, exit a business, different ways of mitigating them becomes critical. And then lastly, it's not used often, but sometimes there's need for intervention where the board needs to step in. You want that to potentially happen early if needed, so you can make those course corrections. But with being in sync with the board of directors on what those enterprise risks are, they're in a better position to determine when to do that.
And lastly, what advice do you have for other REIT executives in terms of preparing for possible cybersecurity issues?
It's a big term, cybersecurity. So the first thing I would say actually is don't get put off by the technology of it, right? So a lot of people are put off by these big technological terms and DDoS and those types of things. But the way I like to think about it is try to put it in terms that you understand, right? So take an information system from a security perspective. You can think of it the same as a building that you have, right? So building has doors, it has windows, there's different ingress points and egress points. An information system is no different in that respect. Same with information flows that come in and out of an information system. It's just like a shipping and receiving department, if you like, inside of a building. And so just think about, well, what are the controls I want to have of people who come into my building? Do I allow them access to all spaces? Do I lock certain pieces down? How do I receive goods? How do I ship things out? So again, how does information come into my systems? How is it allowed to go out of the systems? What's visible? Going back to the window analogy, if you have your information system inside a room, maybe you don't want to make it visible to everything. So just kind of coming up with some common terms, I think, is what I would advise, and just sitting down with your information security professionals and talking with them in more layman's terms so that everybody can be a part of it. Otherwise, it kind of becomes that thing that compliance and security people do, and it's really, to get a good, effective program up off the ground, it's something that everybody does. And the last thing I would say is, compliance. A lot of my security colleagues would say compliance does not mean you're secure, and I would agree with that. But a lot of them also readily admit that compliance is a baseline, and so there's a lot of good information security frameworks out there that you can become compliant with, and that foster a good baseline for your overall cybersecurity program.
Great. Oliver, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Matt.
For more from REITwise 2017, be sure to visit NAREITsREIT.com.